Hello everyone, here is a continuation of Credo. This is chapter 3 on creation. Question 80. What is creation? The act by which God freely creates beings out of nothing, ex nihilo, i.e. making a thing to be which previously did not exist. 81. To whom does this creative act belong? To God alone, because it requires infinite being to cause something to exist that once had no being. Conversely, a creature only acts upon other things, as a sculptor needs marble to shape a statue. 82. What of theories claiming that the universe began spontaneously, either by itself or from some pre-existing matter? There are errors of philosophy rather than claims of empirical science. These are errors of philosophy rather than claims of empirical science, and are also impossibilities. Nothing can come from nothing, and nothing can cause itself to exist. Was God obliged to create all things? No, as the fullness of being itself, God is infinitely perfect, happy and sufficient in himself. He has no need of other beings. He already gives of himself completely and fully within the Trinity of the divine persons. Neither his nature nor his goodwill inevitably compelled him to create. He was entirely free to create or not. Then why did God choose to create? To reveal his own goodness and perfection by the blessings which, in his love, he freely bestows on creatures. Then creation is really distinct from God and subordinate to him? Yes. Through history, various false religions and pantheistic philosophies have regarded creation as a divine manifestation, emanation, or somehow part of God. See Romans 1 and Wisdom 13. But the true God is in no way dependent on creatures. In our time, what is the chief error about this distinction between God and creation? The personification and even deification of nature, often manifested in forms of environmental idolatry, ecological mysticism, earth goddess rituals, animism, and other forms of pagan worship. What is the error of so-called transhumanism? Man's attempt to negate his creatureliness and elevate himself to a higher level of existence by manipulating human nature through technology, genetic engineering, cryonics, implants with brain-computer interfaces, etc., in order to achieve self-perfection or even an alleged immortality. Transhumanism embodies man's original sin of wanting to be like God without grace. Why is a correct understanding of creation so essential to right faith? Because error with regard to the nature of creation begins a false knowledge of God. Work of creation. What has God revealed to man about his work of creation? In the divinely revealed history, especially contained in the book of Genesis, this work is described as God calling the universe into existence by his almighty word and giving this creation a splendid order and harmony in a sequence of 6 days. See Genesis 1:6-8, 14-19. What was the special work of the 6 days of creation? In fashioning the material universe, the heavens and the earth, on the first day, God made the light. On the second day, he made the firmament, or material heavens. On the third day, he made the dry land and plants. On the fourth day, he adorned the heavens with sun, moon, and stars. On the fifth day, he filled the skies and seas with birds and fish. On the sixth day, he filled the earth with land, animals, and finally crowned his creation by fashioning man and woman. God called all of these very good, Genesis 1:31, having come forth as wondrous effects from a perfect cause. What did God do after these 6 days? God rested on the seventh day, blessing it and making it holy. See Genesis 2:2-3. Must we interpret the days of Genesis as 24-hour periods? The majority of church fathers held the 6 days of creation as 6 literal days, but there was not moral unanimity among them on this question. Some Catholic authorities, example St. Augustine and Thomas Aquinas, recognized the diversity of permissible interpretations, and in 1909, the Pontifical Biblical Commission ruled that the 6 days of Genesis could be taken either in the literal sense of natural days or in the applied sense for certain periods of time. Has the Genesis account of creation been disproven by the natural sciences? No. On the contrary, the ongoing discoveries of sedimentology, astrophysics, microbiology, genetics, and other disciplines continue to confirm the sacred history of Genesis in those truths that, according to the magisterium, this history is meant to teach us. What major lessons can be gathered thus far? 1. The universe is not eternal but had its origin in time. 2. The existence of creation was not the result of natural processes but the free act of God. 3. The universe is not random or accidental, but was formed after a determined plan of divine wisdom. 4. God did not create sin or evil, but all things good in their origin. 5. The natural world is not divine, but was fashioned for the proper use of man. 6. Natural processes have their own potentialities to develop, all of it dependent on God. What is the ultimate end of creation? To glorify God. Everything comes from God, for from Him and through Him and to Him are all things. Romans 11:36. And all your works shall give thanks to you, O Lord, and all your faithful shall bless you. And all your faithful shall bless you. Psalm 145:10. Then man is not a creature that the Creator has willed for its own sake. No, although man should never be used as a mere means to an end, The notion that man exists simply for his own sake is a self-referential error of anthropocentrism, anthropocentrism, rooted in the unchristian philosophy of Immanuel Kant, 1724 to 1804. Rather, God wills things apart from himself, insofar as they are ordered to his own goodness as their end, and God is the only end of man. What, then, is the divine order that we find inscribed in creation? Irrational creatures, e.g., minerals, plants, animals, are subject to rational creatures, angels and men, which are in turn subject to God, the supreme good and last end of all things. What is man's duty towards other creatures? 1. Not to seek his ultimate fulfillment in them. 2. To respect and learn from them as works of divine wisdom. 3. To use them responsibly as means to rise to God. 4. In all his actions to seek first the glory of God. Thank you for listening. To support me further, please like, share, subscribe, comment, and God bless. Thank you.